What's up guys, and welcome to another video. Man, it's been such a very long time, and the reason for that is I had to focus on finishing my thesis so I could finally graduate from my grad school, my grad program, and I've done it 3 weeks ago, so bravo for your boy. But for this video, man, I feel like you guys are gonna take a lot from this video because you guys are gonna be learning from the mistakes I made in my early 20s. For this video, I'm gonna be talking about the things I wish I did differently when I was in my early 20s, and even going a little further back than that. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into the video, guys. Let's go. So for number one, we have a written plan of what you envision for your future. Now guys, if there's anything you take away from this video whatsoever, this has to be it right here, because it's so important for everything that happens from this point on in your life. Having a direction in life is going to be very important, and when you write it down, you have a game by game plan of what you want to do, how to achieve it, and what you see for yourself in the future. Personally, for me, this is something I really wish I did before going to college, because I felt like I made the wrong choices, and I feel like I could have avoided those choices if I would have just had something down where I could be like, okay, these are the things I want to do, these are my strengths, these are my weaknesses, this is what I can work on, just something like that. And there's so many resources out there for you guys that you guys can look at on how to actually write this plan down, and I'll make sure to leave some in the link below. But first off, let's get to a quick clip to Dr. Jordan Peterson, because he has all the credentials in the world, so take them from him.
We ran several, I think it's about 10,000 people through the Future Authoring Program now. And what happened, if you looked at the academic performance of the students, the Dutch women, the native Dutch women, were at the pinnacle. And then it was the Dutch men below them. Now, and then below that were male non-Western ethnic minority immigrants. And there was a massive gap between the Dutch women and the male non-Western minority immigrants, like a performance gap of about 80%, a massive gap. Within 2 years after writing the Future Authoring Program, the male non-ethnic Western minority students passed the Dutch students. Yeah.
Boy, do I wish I had that advice when I was younger, but you guys are getting it now. And like I said earlier, you can be any age to get this advice. You don't have to be in your early 20s. You don't have to be a teenager to get this advice. You can be 30, 40, even 50 years old. You constantly see people in their 50s and 60s, you know, going back to school. As a matter of fact, when I was in grad school back in Paris, we had an ambassador from like a whole ambassador of a country that I was sitting in class with. He was going back to school, and he was like 64 years old. So trust me guys, you can do this at any age, but really try to start young, because honestly it's gonna just give you a much better understanding and idea of what you want to do, like I said earlier. So now that's it for that one. Now let's move to number two. So for number two, we have choosing the right major, and this actually goes back to my first point. Now, choosing the right major is very important. I'm not going to tell you guys what major I chose, but I'll tell you guys a mistake I made when choosing it. So when I chose my major, I remember I went to a community college, and I spoke to like an advisor over there. I was like, hey man, I want to be a diplomat, I want to be an ambassador. And this man was like, if you want to be an ambassador, choose this major. And then so of course, without doing any research whatsoever, I went and I chose a major. Now I wish I would have done some research on the major, because I probably would have made a different choice. But now the main point of this actual, for number two, is doing your research on the major you want to choose. When you want to choose a major, make sure you do your research on it. Make sure you look at the employability, especially over the next decade, and also look at the pay scale. Some majors are a lot easier to get a job in once you finish, such as computer science, engineering, being a doctor, being a lawyer, what else? I feel like I missed, accounting, finance, business administration. Those are all very good majors that you can get a well-paying job in immediately out of college. And now, so I'm not gonna mention the ones that I don't think are the best majors out there. If you put the right work in, make the right connections in life, even if those majors, the ones I'm not really gonna mention, political science, human comm, what? If you guys choose majors like that, you can still get a very good job. You can still get a well-paying job. But the problem with that is you're just gonna have a much harder time compared to somebody that did something like accounting or computer science. So make sure you do your research on it. Now, I'm not trying to discourage anybody from following their dreams and their passion, because that's very important. You have to be passionate about it, but you also have to be realistic about it as well. And that's my main point about this one right here. So just do your research, and guess what? Do more research on the major you want to choose going to college. And for number 3, we have investing early. Now honestly, this is something I wasn't late to the party to. I started when I was 24, but still I wish I started when I was even younger than that. Now the problem is a lot of people, whether they're in their early 20s, mid 30s, mid 40s, they never invest, and that's a problem. In all honesty, the best way to actually build long-term wealth is by investing, and investing early, and making the right decisions when you invest. Now the thing about investing is you have to make sure to do your own research. There's so many areas of investments you guys can do. You have individual stocks, ETFs, crypto, some things a little harder to get into, such as real estate, or just buying something that's gonna help make you money later on in the future. Personally, for me, an investment I made was this camera right here, this microphone right here, because for me it's helping me work towards something. It's helping me build up my business, which is athletic education, which is my main YouTube channel, as a matter of fact, sports training, and I talk about all sorts of sports training on that channel. So you guys can make sure to go check it out, and make sure to subscribe if you like it, and also subscribe to this channel if you enjoy the videos as well. But I digress. Let's get back to the main topic here. So the main point here is make sure to do your own research. Don't go on YouTube looking for the next trendy stock or cryptocurrency. There's a lot of good resources out there, such as Financial Education. That's actually the channel I watched when I first started investing, and honestly, the guy is amazing. He has a lot of good advice, so make sure to check him out. It's called Financial Education, and like I said, there's so many other good YouTubers or just resources online where you can do a bunch of research on these things and set yourself up for a fantastic future. And next, we're on to number 4. So for number 4, we have partying too much. Now till this day, there's no one that loves a good party more than me, and I mean till this day.
To this day. To this day.
Now I'm gonna take this off, as a matter of fact, so I can actually get back to the point of the video. Now let's break down the ways partying too much negatively affects your life. First off, you waste a lot of freaking time. You could be doing something a lot more valuable with your time, such as learning about investing, or starting a little business, studying for an exam. You could be doing so much more rather than partying, going out, getting lit. I'm gonna ask you this question. When you went out a month ago, do you remember what you did on that Friday night? What bar you went to? Do you even remember it? Do you remember how fun it was? In all honesty, ask yourself that question. Was it that fun for you to have went out? And like a lot of time it's not even memorable, so it wastes a lot of time, and you could be doing something a lot more valuable with your time. So now for number 2, the number 2 thing about this is you waste so much money. Let's take myself as an example here, right? So on average, I was going out every single week. I'd be going out 2 to 3 times a week. So let's just say I was going out 104 times a year. Now let's say I was spending between $20 to $40 a week when not a weekend night when I would go out. So now let's go with the middle. Let's go $30. Let's go $30 time 104. How much is that? Do the math real quick. Oh wow, okay. Okay. Okay, that's a lot. So I was spending $3,120 a year on partying. Oh my gosh. And that's not even taking into account when I would go on like long vacations, travel, and just go crazy with my boys. Like that is just wild to me. So now you have, that's most of us, as a matter of fact. So let's take that $3,000, right? Let's multiply that by like 4. Let's say from the age of 20 to like 24, 25, 26 or whatever, however many years, you're partying that much and you're spending that much money. Imagine how much money you wasted going out. Imagine what you could have done with that money. You could have been investing, again, like I said earlier, or you could have just used that money for something a lot better, like maybe paying off some college tuition or buying some books. I don't know, but anyway, you waste a lot of money. So now let's move on to the third point within this topic right here, which is you spend a lot of money to destroy your health. use this as an example. So let's say you're a male. As a male, you produce a lot of testosterone, correct? Now, testosterone is vital for a lot of body functions in men. When you go to bed late, even without alcohol, when you wake up the next day, your testosterone levels are much lower than they would normally be if you have bad sleep. When you drink, that also lowers your testosterone levels, correct? So now let's say you put those two together, which is what you're doing 3 to 4 times a week. So you're trying to make gains, right? So how are you gonna make good gains when you're partying that much? And now this also applies to every other thing in your body. It dehydrates you, it puts stress on your liver, and the ladies, same goes for you. You guys, it also messes with your hormones. Make sure you take that all into consideration, how much money you're spending, how much time you're wasting, putting your health at risk. So to have a great time, just don't overdo it. All right, so on to the next topic, number 5. So number 5 is dating people who are not a hell yes about you. Now, if you're young, and this happens to a lot of young people, and especially from your late teens to your mid-20s, and even sometimes longer than that, we have a tendency to chase after people who are not really that into us, but are giving us just enough attention for us to keep coming back. And that's something I dealt with in my mid-20s. I had a girlfriend from 21 to 24. So after we broke up, I was dating, and whichever girl I was attracted to that gave me some form of attention, whether she was texting me or just going out, hanging out or whatever, I would be all in immediately because I was attracted to her. But I would always also be kind of stressed out, anxious, because I'll be waiting for her replies. I'll be asking myself all these questions. Why is she not replying fast enough? What is she doing? Is she seeing somebody else? Why am I not a priority in her life? And you don't want to date anyone that does not make you a priority. No matter what they give you or what they're bringing to you physically or whatsoever, if somebody is not giving it to you emotionally, move on from it. Save yourself the stress and the anxiety of it, and just move on with life. You know what I mean? There's a lot more better options out there for you. And since I stopped doing this, honestly, my dating life has been a lot easier. It's been more fun. It's just a lot less stress-free. I don't have that much on my mind. So that's it for that one. That was a quick one. So now let's move on to number 6, which is also the final one on this list. So for number 6, we have not tracking my time or being organized. Now, remember, earlier in the video, I said I just graduated with my master's degree, correct? It took me an extra year to graduate from with my master's degree. And the reason for that is because I was a massive procrastinator. That's because I had no structure or organization in my life whatsoever. And when I started making these changes, hold up, I got something for you guys. Thanks to this book right here, Atomic Habits, I highly recommend you guys check it out. This has absolutely changed my life, and it's fantastic. It's a great read. It's not just one of those self-help books that just tell you change your mindset this way, that way. This gives you a lot of practical advice. And once I started implementing some of the things in this book, like I said, it has completely changed my life. So now let's talk about some of the things I did implement that helped me become better organized. So one of the things I did was I actually have a dry erase board, and I also have a calendar right on my table here. On each night, every night, I write on the dry erase board what I need to do that day, and also on the calendar. So I have 2 systems of keeping me on track. And at the end of every night as well, after the day, I'll make sure to cross out everything I got accomplished. And now, so because I tend to be a little obsessive about things I do, I also made a productivity tracker on Excel. So I literally have a productivity tracker on my Excel sheet that has everything I need to do, such as working out, writing blogs, reading, continuing to learn French, learning Italian now, some coursework I'm doing, blog posts, making videos, all that good stuff. And so each day I write down exactly how much time I spent doing each activity, and then at the end of the month I add all of it up, and then I subtract it by 60, and it gives me the hours, and I'll compare it to the previous month whether I've been more productive or less productive. And honestly, it just helps me stay accountable to myself, and it helps me stay on track. I've been literally 10 times more productive because for me it was always I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow will come around, it'll be tomorrow again. Tomorrow will come around, it'll be next week, as a matter of fact. Next week will come around, let's do it next month. I got all this free time, and it took me an extra year to graduate with my master's degree than it would have if I would have just been more organized and just been more on the path of keeping track of what I was doing. So guys, that's it for this video. I'm probably gonna make a part 2 for this video. This is my first time back in like 3 months, so a little rusty with the videos, but trust me, the quality is just gonna keep going up and up and up. And I hope you guys subscribe, hope you guys stay around. I hope you guys really like the video as well. Please make sure to leave a like, helps out the channel a ton, and you guys are gonna be in this journey with me, because my goal is to go to the top, and this is gonna be what I do full time, along with pursuing whatever I did in my undergrad. All right guys, take care of yourself and peace.